Welcome back, trainers. You know what time it is. Summer Cup, Brave Bird, Pidgeot. Let's get into the battles. Getting right into the first battle, we have a Pidgeot lead into Quagsire. So here we will have to look out for that Stone Edge, but our plan is going to remain the same. We're going to charge up and immediately throw this Brave Bird. Again, a lot of people don't like to necessarily shield right away, so this does go through, and that is a lot of damage onto the Quagsire. Since we do have that debuff now, we are going to shield. Aqua Tail would hurt, but Stone Edge would just about, I believe, one-hit KO with that Brave Bird defense drop. Charge-a-bug comes in. We're going to, again, charge up, throw this. This should just about guarantee a shield, and the shield goes up, instantly swap to Vigoroth. So now we can pressure with a Rock Slide here. You see, we get that last counter in just in time, so our Rock Slide is up. The discharge comes through. We're going to do one counter and throw so that we can maximize our energy and our fast move here. This goes through, and this actually gives us a potential chance to farm this down with, I believe, Whiscash is what we're going to come in with here. We are going to wait the timer just a little bit. Again, we want the timer not entirely down because we don't want him to switch out right away. But we want to be able to get some farm on the Whiscash, letting this go. The timer is now back up, and we are going to throw here. I wasn't perfectly counting, but the discharge into X-Scissor does come very fast. So we threw that in the middle of his Volt Switch just in case. And luckily in back, it is a Ninetales, letting the Skull go through, no debuff. I actually haven't seen a lot of Ninetales. Usually the fire types that you've been seeing in this cup would be like Talonflame and Skeledirge, but we're gonna let this go just in case. So we're gonna farm down with Pidgeot, but it's just a Psyshock actually. I haven't seen a lot of Psyshock on Ninetales either. Usually you would run something fire, Weather Ball, Fire, and Overheat perhaps. I think I've seen a Solar Beam too, but taking that one, victory 1-0. Pidgeot lead into Charge-a-Bug. This is not the greatest for us. We are going to charge up a little bit. We don't have to necessarily switch right away, but we are going to switch there on that third Volt Switch, halfway between the third Volt Switch, so we can take a discharge. Not very effective. Resisted onto Whiscash. In comes Swampert. Swampert could outpace the Whiscash here. Those Hydro Cannons do hurt, but we get this attack debuff, and that is actually going to really help the Whiscash matchup here. Since we've gotten that debuff, now we're just going to go straight for the Mud Bombs, letting it through, and we're going to let this one through. This should still, I believe, KO. Yep, it's a strong move, but we have the shield advantage, and Pidgeot could come in here with that extra energy advantage, where even though it's debuffed, again, Pidgeot not having the best defense stats here, so we are going to throw right there so that we keep a little bit of energy. Throwing the Brave Bird here between the Volt Switch, so that Volt Switch will land when this is over, unless he lets it through and we one-shot the Charge-a-Bug. Again, that is neutral damage because of the electric typing. There is a Talonflame in the back. Vigoroth comes in, and we can just outpace with these Rock Slides and this double shields. Having two shields here, we could again come in back with Pidgeot if we really wanted to just do another Brave Bird to end, but since we just got to the Rock Slide here, we are going to throw in this Rock Slide will KO the Talonflame. GG's trainer. Coming into the next battle, so landing a Brave Bird is just about the win con, right? We've seen it a couple times, and we get Skeledirge. So this is an interesting matchup. Skeledirge can't throw the Shadow Ball, of course. It's not going to do the most damage. We're going to throw here right before the end of his turn cycle, and we land the Brave Bird immediately. That is just an entire one-hit KO on the Skeledirge. Opponent's thinking about what to bring in, and it's Poliwrath. Now, Poliwrath is actually going to be a little bit of an issue because I don't particularly want to switch yet. I want to still get some pressure. So we get a shield, we have some pressure, and our answer here is going to be Whiscash. We don't want to be taking those super effective damage with Vigoroth with that counter yet, but Trevenant comes out. Now, obviously not great for Whiscash, much better for Pidgeot, and not super great for the Vigoroth either, so it's a very awkward position, and we still have to fight that Icy Wind Poliwrath somehow in the back. So we do have shield advantage. We are going to let this go. And here, coming in with Pidgeot to farm down. Now, again, Pidgeot defense stat is so low, and perhaps we should have switched earlier. Getting the Whiscash into the Poliwrath, switching earlier there might have been a little better. We're gonna let this go because it's not going to kill, and we are at a move. We have both moves. Actually, I wasn't entirely sure if we had the full Brave Bird, so I went straight for the Aerial Ace. Either way, we will get the shield. We do have to shield this. This is Icy Wind, and because of that debuff there on the Icy Wind, getting a couple more counters in just before throwing this Body Slam. But that Icy Wind, man, Icy Wind Poliwrath is a little bit of a problem for this team. Because here we go, we get outpaced Poliwrath, having a lot of energy from the earlier matchup, and that Scald KOs. Close battles. I think we probably could have switched to our Whiscash a little earlier and saved some HP on the Pidgeot. But going into the next battle here, into Jellicent. So we're going to look for the moveset. We're hoping it's Hex, and Bubble comes out. So Bubble Surf is definitely a little bit harder to deal with than Hex Surf, because the Hex would be dealing, I believe it's double or resisted damage here. But in comes Magcargo, an interesting, I will say, safe swap, but it's not quite a safe swap. It has a double weakness to water and ground, as well as a weakness to counter, which is a very, very common move here in typings here in this Summer Cup. So almost one-shotting, but getting a little bit of extra farm before going down. I believe Jellicent is going to come back in and expecting, if no matter what it is, we're just going to throw Scald, because even though the chance for debuff on Scald got nerfed, we're still just going to try and hope and go for it anyway. I don't believe I didn't see the animation on that first one. We're going to let the Surf go. Coming in here, another Scald. Mud Bomb would be neutral damage, but the Scald, there we go. That's the attack debuff we were looking for. Coming in with Pidgeot. Even though, again, attack debuff, but Pidgeot is not tanky. So we are going to shield. We're going to throw one, again, maximizing our turn here. So we throw one and then go for the Aerial Ace. And here we're going to immediately Brave Bird and dip, because we either one-shot just about or get our shield. And we get our shield, so now it's 1-to-1 shield with Vigoroth, but I believe the opposing Vigoroth is now one counter ahead. So we're going to drop the shield here. We're getting just here to our second Body Slam is one counter away. And at this point, I believe that our opponent was just about to get to the double. I think he was trying to get to double Body Slams so that he could Body Slam the Pidgeot when it came back in without. But yeah, so interesting play. We did end up, I guess, outpacing, but here we go. Pidgeot, the Quagsire immediately swaps out, so this is going to make me think that perhaps it doesn't have Stone Edge, because we've seen every other Quagsire stay in that lead. The Vigoroth safe swap is kind of awkward for this team as well. I could fight it with my own Vigoroth. I could stay in with Pidgeot, but we're going to go Whiscash. It's neutral all around. We're just going to try and sort of outpace with our Mud Bombs, and we did not get the Scald debuff, so a slightly awkward position to be in for sure. Oh, and he underfarms because he doesn't want to knock out the Whiscash and let the Vigoroth turn into energy for the Pidgeot, but we are going to take the KO, and in comes Double. Interesting, I don't think I've seen a lot of doubles, but the double normal type line with that Quagsire in front. So we are going to let this one go. Now, Double is kind of insane when it comes to energy generation. These Body Slams come so fast. If you thought Greninja's Water Shuriken into Hydro Cannon was fast, you should wait until you see Double Body Slam. It's actually, I believe it's the same. They're both 3 turns. But in comes the Quagsire coming back. We're getting some chip damage off here. We tried to switch because I wanted to catch a Mud Bomb, or possibly Aqua Tail wouldn't necessarily be a catch, but the Mud Bomb would have been great. And because we saw him switch out earlier, we are going to let this go, and it turns out it was Stone Edge anyway. So it doesn't 100% KO, so it lets us get off our next move, but also he gets to farm down there with just about 3 more Mud Shots. So that energy he gets there is a little bit difficult. We are going to throw right away, even though there was a switch, because I don't want Double to come in and Body Slam. So now we have to go to the races, and we lose the race. Quagsire outpaces, gets the Mud Bomb, and down we go. But overall, still a positive set. So landing those Brave Birds, there were definitely some plays that we could have done better, but landing a Brave Bird generally equals GG. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to drop a like and let me know down in the comments which Pokemon you guys have been having success with here in the Summer Cup. We still have it for like another week, I think.